The only logical response to current events, by the way.
What do you mean by that?
Ah, red madness, death of the Lightborn. You don't need to be one of those keepers to see something is happening in this world. It's going south, and other than the Holy Order and his new Nehramese magically gifted pals I am no friend of, trying to pray away such threats, we need to change humanity. The apotheosis, the overcoming of our fleshly nature, is the first step. Unfortunately, I seem to be the only one who sees it that way. But hey, that's their choice.
I see. And with what do you need my help?
Oh, with this and that. Errands. Tasks your rough hands are better suited for than mine. But first, we need to find my assistant, Pathira. She's gone missing.
What? Where did she go?
Well, I suppose she took a flying unicorn to old Aranath. I don't know, sod it, else I wouldn't ask you for your help, would I? For his completion, Horst is asking something important. Some kind of steering unit, you might call it. Pathira and I have done research and found out that Dalmarak and his cohorts in Thalgard worked on a machine there that might employ a similar mechanism. Even though I had strongly spoken out in favor of an armed escort to send with her, Pathira had insisted on going alone. And surprise, I haven't heard from her since.
Dalgard? What exactly happened there?
Something that makes it the ideal place to go if you're suicidal and you're looking for a quick way out. You're an outlander, aren't you? How can I explain that without going beyond the scope? Dalmarak. Does the name ring a bell? He was an arcanist who lived about 2,000 years ago. Back then, the Order planned to build a second great city here in Enderal, situated in a region we now call Goldenforst. But, as it turned out, the place was everything but a good choice for a settlement. No crops would grow there, and the water made the settlers sick. So 3 years after the founding of the first settlement, Malif, the Order forced the settlers to abandon the mission and return to Ark. But, as things are with vain personalities, Dalmarak, who had been in charge of the mission, didn't like that idea at all. Malif had been his dream, and so he wanted to hold on to it no matter what the price. One of his ways to do so was a device he called the Sun Wheel, an old Pyrean construction which was meant to make the barren lands fertile again. You can figure out the rest. One night there was a bright flash of light, and since then Thalgard has been contaminated. Apart from a few animals and the Sunborn, savages whose brains have been rotted by the green fog there, it's deserted. In the first few centuries to follow, the fog spread as far as Goldenforst, but by now it's receded from there.
So you spent Patera. So you said Patera to go recover that device on her own? That's dangerous.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But as I said, she insisted. You know, she's of the lone wolfish type, if you get what I mean. Here, this is the place where Pathira said she would set up her camp. From here, she planned to go explore the nearby ruins. And please don't die, else I have no idea how to get Horst up and running.
Okay. Let's go to your workshop. Oh. Nothing here though. All good. I do need to sleep. Wonder if he'll allow me to sleep in his bed. It'll probably just say owned. Nope. Cool. I'll go to 7 AM.
What?
Yes?
Walk blessed.
That's just how it is.
That's where I came up.
Life isn't easy.
But that's how it
Wait.
is. Life
Say that again.
What exactly are you selling here?
Oh, by the name of the sun! You're near a maze, aren't you? And even better, you're from Ostian. Oh, by the now deceased seven gods. What brings you here? To Enderal, I mean.
Long story. I take it you're from Ostian too?
Indeed, I am. And before you ask, I fled. Just as you probably did. Even though the artist inside of me loves the chaos, the family man doesn't. At least not enough that he would risk the life of his family. And well, now here I am. By the face of time, what a dull place this is. The people here, this endless rambling about the path and Malthus. I would have never thought the Order could actually succeed in keeping the truth about the Lightborn's death from the people so long. But in a place like this, that problem pretty much solves itself, it seems. The people here are so obstinate. I was surprised to find out they do not still pray to a Satyron.
I found a volume of The Butcher of Art. Could you tell me something about these books?
The forbidden book? Don't hold it against me, but I'd rather keep quiet about that. Maybe ask that librarian, Marius. He always struck me as the free-spoken type.
So now you sell artifacts. How the heck do you find them? You don't look much like a crypt crawler to me.
Oh, my friend. If I were to tell you this, what reason would you have for my services? Secret of the trade.
You're an artist, you say?
Oh yes, that I am. Painter of the black powder, the fiery moments, one could say. In Narim I could make a living from that. But in this country, my art is not exactly acknowledged.
Okay.
Take care.
Oh, myself. What a pleasure to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. And you?
I understand your turmoil, madame. But still, right now, the Order cannot.
Waste a keeper to search for a pathless heretic? That's it, isn't it?
This is not what I said.
But what you thought. You know what? You should be ashamed, all of you. When I was young, being a keeper meant something. But I suppose those times are over.
Anything else I can help you with, madame?
Potion to cure red madness. Wouldn't that be something?
Huh? What is it?
I overheard your discussion with that keeper. Something troubling you?
Oh, whether there's something troubling me? Let me think. Yes. For example, that the Holy Order, since that Aranthiel is holding the reins again, cares more about digging up Pyrean ruins than taking care of the people of this country. Ugh. Forgive me. I shouldn't have said that. It's just... never mind. Is there something you need? I need to get back to the shop.
Wait, maybe I can help you.
Huh? No. I appreciate your offer, but it would be too dangerous. This would have been a mission for a keeper, but they are too busy polishing their armors.
Believe me, I know how to take care of myself.
Oh my. Well, fine. Who am I to reject a helping hand? I am missing someone, and I'm not speaking figuratively. My son, my only son.
I am sorry to hear that. What happened to him?
It's complicated. Have you ever heard of the Brotherhood of Kor?
Not really, no.
I see, then you haven't been in this city for long. The Brotherhood of Kor were pathless ones, heretics as the Order would call them. They demented the divinity of the Lightborn, and instead prayed to some barbaric deity called Kor. Initially, they were ridiculed, but thanks to their leader and his talent to poison lost souls with his ideology, more and more Ark people, especially Sublimes, converted to his cult. And, well, among them was also my son, Rukas. I don't know where I failed as a mother, I really don't. 4 times a week I took him to the chapel to pray when he was a boy, and I always kept him away from dangerous influences. Girls, boys, you know what I mean. But apparently that wasn't enough. He was one of the first to convert and take those ridiculous vows, even though he wasn't even 20 winters old back then. I suppose there's only so much you can do as a parent.
Did you say you took vows? He took vows? What kind of vows?
A vow of silence, and please do not ask me what for. It has something to do with the followers of Kor believing language somehow poisons the mind. Some pathless rubbish.
I see. And where is this brotherhood now? This is the first time I've heard of them.
Yes, because the Order, Marthas be praised, banished them from the city. The Kor didn't bother too much, but apparently one of their seers has had some kind of vision only shortly before that happened. She saw an island in the Red Sea near Duneville. So, this is where they went. They built a small settlement there about 5 winters ago, and Rukas went with them.
And you haven't heard from your son ever since?
No, nothing. But even so, I wanted to know he was all right, so I paid a myriad warden to, once each moon, fly over the island to see if everything is in order, so to speak. And, well, this is essentially what's troubling me. For 3 weeks, the island has been deserted. No sign of life anywhere.
And this is why you wanted the Order to see what happened there? Fine. I'll take a look at the island.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. If you could find Rukas, I would be happy to reward your efforts. You see, I just want to know if he's all right. Pathlessness aside, he is still my son. Anyway, best you talk to the myriad warden in the South Quarter. He can take you somewhere close to the island. I will be in my shop.
Nothing up here. Nope.
Yes? What are you doing here? Oh well.
Hot space. All over the place. Why is that stuff so expensive?
Please, I'm so hungry. A penny, my sir? Please, just one penny.
I already gave you a penny.
Oh, you're an outlander, aren't you? From Kilei. Your skin, it looks, different.
I've already
Farewell.
talked to you.
Now look at that. The controversial recruit. So, how are you?
Fine, I guess.
Oh, oh, thank you. You truly are a good person.
Have you heard the news about the Magister? Word has it that
So
he murdered
many
30
strange
monks,
faces.
then killed himself.
Well, isn't it nice?
My Malthus, what has become of this world?
Our ancient world seemed newborn in his eyes. No
Yes?
place could keep him. He yearned from the skies. He abandoned the way
Yes?
that Malthus foresaw. He
An outlander. What are you
his own.
the city? Shouldn't you be, I don't know, somewhere else?
Where do you come from?
Well, aren't you quite straightforward? Most people wouldn't dare ask. I'm a half Quirian, as you've probably guessed, but I grew up here. If I may say so, there's something foreign about you as well.
You may. I'm Nerames and landed here recently.
Ah, a Nerames? A rare sight these days. I'd like to ask what brought you here, but the innkeeper will cut my pay for each minute I don't play music.
Okay, you can get back to it.
Our ancient world seemed newborn in his eyes. No place could keep him. He yearned from the skies. He abandoned the way that Malthus foresaw. He followed a path of his own, and he strayed in the void as the wayward wanderer.
I got a bit itchy. I had to pause for a second.
What?
What the blazes are you doing?
If you have to ask that, you'd better be on your way, my friend.
Oh,
Huh?
Dark Veils? Between Fire and Ice. I don't know that one. Raw? Var. The Loneliness of the Elder Man. Hija Boom Pow.
What the? I beg your pardon?
Yeah, I don't know. In the fang of violence, my heart laughs, so hot, yet so cold. Oh no, such woe. Karach, ahu, aya.
But by the righteous path, this is incredible. I've never heard anything like this before. Tell me, my friend, where did you learn this? Who taught you poetry?
What? No one. I'm an autodidact.
Blazes, you're self-taught. Malthus truly did bless you with talent. Tell me, may I interpret your poem? It's just I have to.
Sure, be my guest.
Well then, I hope this is not too much of a leap, but does your first line, the one with the dancing elder between fire and ice, deal with the socio-sexual isolation of old people in feudal societies? I may be wrong, but that was the first thought that came to my head.
That's what I meant indeed. By Malthus. And here I was thinking the metaphor was too risky.
No, not at all. I was particularly moved by how you used onomatopoeia in line 4 and 6. Do these brutal noises at the end of each verse symbolize the hedonistic, violent way of life among the common people who have absolutely no regard for the lonely man?
Exactly. Wow. What about the second poem?
Phew. Well, that's a tough one. To me, it sounds like the inner voice of a murderer. Yes, exactly. He celebrates his bloodthirsty way of life. In the fangs of violence, my heart laughs. And then, suddenly, justice ends him, which is once again conveyed through those guttural noises. And I have to say, how you use the uneven number of verses as a metaphor for the discord that results from such a lifestyle is nothing short of brilliant. If that's what you meant by it, of course. You did, didn't you?
Yes, you're incredible. I thought no one would ever understand.
Well, you know what? They wouldn't. The common people, they don't even understand when I tell them I'm a poet. Poet, they ask? What kind of profession is that? So now I simply tell them I'm an innkeep. That is something they are able to grasp with their limited intellect. Easy answers. That's what people long for. But you know what? I would rather die hungry than become one of those soulless pot-boiler artists who make a fortune off their stupid stories. Like Jonas does. Do you know him? Mundane rubbish. That's all he writes, but you'll find it on every bookshelf. It's a disgrace. Pure and simple.
Why are Schmied's stories so bad?
What? What kind of question is that? How can something that so many people like not be rubbish?
That doesn't really make sense. If so many people like it, how can it be rubbish? More like it. But then I kind of agree there is things that a lot of people like that I can't stand. I think is rubbish. You mean anything that's successful has to be trash?
Of course. Not everyone has been blessed with an artist's intellect, you know. There are two kinds of writers. Small minds who give the common people fodder that helps them feel smart, and true artists who want more from life. Those who create, with no greed for gold and fame, bound solely by the calling of the muse.
I guess you're right.
Of course I am. I wish it weren't true, but it is. If only there were more people like us.
This is where your paths end, and where it begins.
He's right, yep. Hey there, Kaji on Skooma. How you doing today? Welcome into the channel. I've already been that way.
May your path
And
always be
there.
Who are you?
Monsieur?
Oh, you're an
Yeah, I've already been.
Outlander, aren't you?
Talk to you.
From Kilei. Your skin, it looks, different.
May his light guide you.
Walk blessed.
Malphus blessings, monsieur. Are you looking for something to read?
Show Marius the Butcher of Ark's books. Look, I found these books in a ruin. What can you tell me about them?
By the, put that away. Are you mad? Don't go around showing these to people like a bloody bouquet.
Why? What's wrong with them?
Well, apart from the fact that the pathless murderer wrote them, they're forbidden. I once had an idiot of an assistant who had the marvelous idea of buying these on the black market and selling them to intellectuals. Probably thought it'd impress me. Would have gotten us both into the Undercity if I hadn't noticed it before the Order did.
How come they're forbidden?
Well, they haven't always been. You know the story behind them, don't you? At first, the Order reprinted them, thinking it would be a wonderful scare story to keep people on the righteous path. However, that didn't work out as they thought it would. People were fascinated by the story rather than appalled by it, and some even started imitating his crimes. You know, killing criminals for justice. Some bards even wrote songs about the Butcher of Ark, path-abiding on the surface, but full of morbid fascination underneath.
I see. So that's when the Order forbade them?
After some years, yes. It was Truchessa Nataro del Verum, actually, who issued the decree. Nowadays, owning these books is forbidden and punished by a significant prison sentence, and the Order tries to burn every single issue they get their hands on.
But they haven't destroyed all of them, have they?
Well, if they had, you wouldn't be holding one, my friend, would you?
Any idea where I could find the other volumes?
Blazes, did you listen to a word I said? You're not getting any here if that's what you're asking. Look for them if your life depends on it, but leave me and the other path-abiding merchants out of it. Ah, and you might be careful parading around with these for another reason as well. The Order isn't the only one looking for them. Just some moons ago, the 2 guards protecting the original scripture were murdered and the book taken.
There's an original scripture?
Yes, the one the Butcher of Ark wrote himself. I assume the thieves were hoping it contained the forbidden passage about Jael Tannerson's initiation ritual, but as far as I know, not even the original has it. Well, long story short, you're treading on dangerous ground here. If it's a story you want, I recommend you get yourself something else to read.
Maybe. Show me what you have.
You name it, I got it.
You do have quite a few books, but I don't think you'll have all of them. You browse through the volume of poems. After a short while, you find what you are searching for. There is a hint on the last page. Right down, left, right, up.